Hello and welcome to my flight simulator overview. In this episode, we will be trying to remote control the VTOL aircraft. Okay, now I'm stepping out of this one because that's not the one I want to be in. I want to be in this private jet over here, not the other experimental one. So this one is very different internally. It has the living quarters and the cargo section separated, sort of. And okay, this is the cockpit, as you can see, and this is the restroom over here. And you see there's a bath and a wash hand basin and a toilet and everything. Okay, obviously it doesn't work, but come on, it's a very small company. And there's the cargo area. There's a vehicle there already, looking sharp. And there's a bedroom, though I didn't try that out this time. All right. I will now proceed to demonstrate how not to take off in this plane. Yes, no, don't try this at home, people. This is not how to take off with this plane. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Yeah. All right, we will have to do that again. Okay, so out of the experimental and back to our private jet. I wonder if there are any actual VTOL private jets on sale. If you know any, please link to me in the comments. I want to know. I mean, I can't afford them, obviously, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to know. All right. In the cockpit, and now we're going to actually take off. Now I'm going to put it in a hover because I'm not entirely sure if the system can take off on its own. That will be for another video. But for now, I'm just going to go into a hover. You can see I've used auto thrust and auto brakes that will hold altitude and maintain its lateral position. I've put up the landing gear. And now I'm going to just go walk around and sit down. Okay, first I'm going to look for the remote controls. And there's the plane. It's in flight right now. And now I'm inside the plane and I'm remote controlling the plane from within. So I can control every aspect of the plane, almost every aspect of the plane from the remote control. I've not given it any instructions, so it's just going to maintain its current position as long as I'm remote controlling it, according to the instructions I've given it on the remote control. So I can actually just sit down anywhere I want and just enjoy my plane ride. Now, the world of this sim isn't too big. I mean, as a matter of fact, with the plane, I can go around it in just a few short minutes. It's not a very big project. However, I think that the planes themselves are a great, for the size of the game, for the size of the project, they are really, really good. And don't ask me for actual aerodynamic accuracy because I have no idea in that aspect. But it feels right. It feels okay, and it's all right. It's very good. It's definitely a 5-star game to me. Okay, so now I'm trying to set some waypoints for the autopilot, and from there I'm going to allow the plane to fly around on its own. Basically, I'm just giving a planned flight for the autopilot. And how do we set landing? Okay, let's set landing runway there, and then click on the runway I want to land there. All right. Now I just have to exit here and tell it to follow the route that I've set. Alright, now we're on follow custom route and you can see the plane autopilot session has started. So from here, we don't have anything, basically have nothing to do with the flight. The AI, or rather the autopilot, is going to fly the aircraft through the waypoints that I've assigned and all the way to landing at the determined airport. It's really just I know you are. You're going to ask me that. Why are you playing the game if you're just going to give it autopilot? Sometimes I just want to sit in the plane and be flown around, even digitally. I mean, I know what flight prices are in Nigeria these days. So, yeah, I can't go on tourist flights just like that. So allow me to enjoy what I can enjoy. Yeah, thank you. All right, there I am seated, looking out of the window. Yeah, this view just reminds me of an air crash investigation episode where I watched the propeller just decide that it wasn't going to go on that flight anymore. I actually looked it up and it was a Reeve Aleutian Flight 8. If you want to see some weird stuff, just go search for that on the internet. Reeve Aleutian Flight 8. The propeller just came off the engine and decided it wasn't going on the flight anymore. They never found the propeller till today. The plane managed to land though. I think it was a stroke of luck and skill on the pilot's side. So they landed and I don't think anyone was injured. But, the propeller just took off. Wow. Anyway, there will be no propeller taking off on this flight. I don't think that particular feature is enabled. And I will very much love to have it not be enabled. But then again, who knows? Maybe it might be a fun feature. Just set a time for some kind of disaster to happen so you can see whether you can handle disaster. Right? Somehow I think that's reality infringing on our enjoyment. But for the option to be there is not bad, right? Alright, now we are flying over, I think that's an airport. I'm looking down and, yep, definitely parts of an airport or a city. Yeah, okay, one of the few cities. Now, the game, apart from the planes, the game is actually lacking in environmental detail, to be honest. I think that is one of the shortcomings. However, I can't blame him because, to add all kind of details, to add a lot of weight to the game, to add a lot of textures, it's a lot of work, and I don't think it's a very big company. I don't think it's a very big project. So I will never put it as a minus, I won't put it as a negative that he doesn't add all those other environmental stuff. To me, it's still a very great game. Now I'm flying over some mountains and okay, that's the dam. I've actually tried water landing in this plane and it's quite easy. This particular VTOL is very easy, water landing. I have tried it in an earlier version of this game with another plane, not the VTOL. And that one, I was successful in landing, but I couldn't take off again. So basically it became a dock, floating dock, so to speak. Now, one of the things I want to try actually is dropping off in a cargo, in a vehicle that is in the cargo lot. I want to see how that actually works. Maybe that will come up in another episode. I can't actually open this. When it's in flight, you cannot open the ramp. Ooh, does this view remind you of something? Yes, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of that scene from Air Force One, where he's fighting with the bad guy and kind of chicks him and get off my plane. Anyway, yeah. So that's what just the open ramp in flight always reminds me of that. That also kind of reminds me of that scene from Fast and Furious. Which one was it? I think that was 7, right? Where they all were airdropped in the place where I think they were supposed to collect Ramsey or so. Something like that. Yeah, I think that was Fast and Furious 7. The last one with Paul Walker in it. Yeah, bless his soul. So, here we are. Here's the cockpit. The plane is flying itself. There's a lot of detail, but I suspect that this plane... I actually haven't found this plane in reality, so I don't think it's a real plane. If you have found such a thing, just let me know in the comments. Because I want to read up on it also. Anyway, this is the interior of the plane. It could have more details, but again, like I said, it's not a very big project. And this is already very excellent work for the size of the team, I think. And it says here made by Alex Petra, which is, I believe, the developer that is responsible for all this. Thank you, man. Thank you, developer. Oh, look, the controls move when the autopilot moves. That's an excellent piece of detail. To me, that's just, I don't know what else. I don't know what else I could ask for in this game. It's really lovely. Now, I think we are approaching the ending of our flight. It's going to be going to the airport very soon. I read one statistic recently that said that the majority of crashes happen at the latter part during the landing. And the next most popular part of time for incidents to happen is during takeoff. That's only about 20% or so, I could be wrong, but only about 20% of incidents happen in flight. That most of the incidents happen either during landing or during takeoff. So that's just something to keep in mind. Alright, this is our next checkpoint. Weird floating green, not a gyroscope hashtag thingy. And we pass through it. Oh, windmill. Okay, that's the airport we're supposed to land on over on the right. And it's going to go and enter into its approach maneuvers very, very soon. That's a lot of windmills. Which country could this be? I think the guy is just trying to put stuff on the featureless landscape. Oh, there's another plane approaching. We're not looking for a disaster, are we? I don't want a disaster. No, thank you. No disasters. Not today. Not today. And about to turn. Yep, there we go. Turning to approach. Although this really isn't necessary in this plane, to be honest. You can just directly approach and slow down over the airspace of the airport and just land directly. But obviously the autopilot is playing it by the book, I guess. Oh, there's the shadow of the plane. Alright, we're now coming in. This is the final approach. As you can see, there's a shadow and touchdown. Given that it's a VTOL, it's going to stop very quickly. And we're going to just taxi to the place where it's going to park. And I'll jump out of the plane. I noticed that this plane is actually quite big. Frankly, big does not quite cause it. It's almost the size of the C-130. If you see the other little planes beside it, you'll be shocked. And the tail is huge. That V-shaped tail is quite large. But it's a very lovely plane. I don't know how the V-22 compares to this. That's the only real VTOL, swing wing VTOL, or rather, I don't know what's that format called. The flip wing, I think, or tilt rotor. Yes, I think that's what it's called, tilt rotor aircraft. All right, so we're on the ground, and that was a safe flight, no incidents. How lovely. And yeah, that's basically how that works. So if you want to take any flights on your own, just configure it the kind of the way I have, and have some fun in the game. All right, I think I'll call it a day here. Just subscribe and like the video, and look forward to more posts from me. Cheers.